Carol Mattis, the author of the 1993 young reader's novel Daniel's Story, collaborated with the United States Holocaust Museum memorial exhibit called Remember the Children, Daniel's Story to craft this poignant narrative. In alignment with the museum exhibit, Daniel's Story offers a meticulously researched portrayal of life in Nazi Germany and the harrowing experiences of living through the Holocaust. Mattis had previously authored 2 historical novels focused on the Dutch resistance during this tragic period. Although Daniel's Story is a work of fiction, its core events are grounded in historical reality. The Nuremberg laws, the Lodz ghetto, and Auschwitz are all undeniable historical truths, rendering Daniel's Story a quintessential example of historical fiction. Given its grim subject matter, the narrative grapples with central themes such as dehumanization and genocide, survival and resistance, and the loss of innocence. The story follows Daniel as he boards a train bound for an unknown destination, ultimately leading him to the Lodz ghetto in Poland, a grim fate for Jewish people. Clutching a photo album, he reflects on the images within. The first photo captures his extended family celebrating his 6th birthday, a memory overshadowed by Auntie Leah's reprimands for classroom antics and the accidental toppling of his meticulously crafted castle by his younger cousins. Daniel hails from a prosperous family in Frankfurt, Germany, where his father, Joseph, runs a hardware store renowned not only for its merchandise but also for Joseph's expertise. The store becomes a target for Nazi persecution, marked with the derogatory label Jew on its window. Uncle Peter, the beloved family photographer, arrives to enlighten Daniel about the rise of Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, the ominous presence of concentration camps, and the scapegoating of Jewish people as responsible for Germany's troubles. The passage of the Nuremberg laws strips German Jews of their citizenship and political rights, marking a devastating turning point in their lives. As the Nazi regime tightens its grip, Jews are gradually barred from attending schools, restaurants, and pools. However, the resilient Jewish community responds by establishing its own school and pool. Daniel, seeking normalcy, also joins a sports club supported by Zionists, individuals advocating for a Jewish homeland in their biblical ancestral land, Palestine. In his quest to maintain a semblance of a regular life, Daniel encounters a pivotal moment when he engages in a physical altercation with Hitler Youth boys and witnesses an anti-Semitic newsreel alongside his younger sister, Erika. The gravity of the situation dawns on him. Tragically, Uncle Peter is sent to Dachau by the Nazis, ostensibly for 2 minor parking violations from years past. Regrettably, Uncle Peter perishes, and the family receives his ashes. In a poignant gesture, Auntie Leah bequeaths Uncle Peter's camera to Daniel, transforming him into the unofficial family photographer. He also captures images of the rampant anti-Semitism and its destructive consequences across Germany, serving as evidence of the cruelty and dehumanization inflicted upon the Jewish population. In the waning days of 1938, after a Polish youth kills a German official in France, the Nazis orchestrate a night of brutal violence against Jews known as Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass. Joseph's hardware store is looted, and like many other Jewish businesses in Germany, it falls under Nazi control. Subsequently, the Jewish community in Frankfurt is forcibly relocated to the grim and unsanitary Lodz ghetto. Here, individuals succumb to the harsh conditions, with corpses left unattended for days. Joseph and Ruth, Daniel's parents, implement measures to ensure the family's survival, conserving their warm clothing and rationing their food. They clandestinely listen to a forbidden radio, and news of Allied victories kindles a glimmer of hope. Erika's musical talent as a dedicated violinist bolsters their spirits. Through Erika, Daniel crosses paths with the spirited Rosa and love blossoms. Together with Erika, Daniel, and Rosa, they engage in discussions about moral dilemmas, the concept of good and evil, the aspirations for Palestine, and the spirit of resistance. Rosa's employment at a sewing factory in Lodz leads to her protest against meager soup portions, with Erika and Daniel aiding her in a successful act of resistance. Within the confines of the ghetto, constant selections are a grim reality, as the Nazis ruthlessly transport people to harrowing concentration camps equipped with gas chambers. Auntie Leah, faced with an agonizing decision, refuses to abandon her youngest daughters when they are selected for transport. Tragically, a Gestapo official intervenes, mercilessly ending Auntie Leah's life along with that of 2 of her daughters. With the advance of Russian forces, the Nazis opt to liquidate the ghetto. Amidst these dire circumstances, Erica battles bronchitis, while Ruth is afflicted with tuberculosis, making Joseph skeptical about their chances of survival in the damp cellar. Joseph takes the risk of accompanying them on the transport. Meanwhile, Daniel and his cousin, Friedrich, Leah's eldest son, remain behind, seeking refuge. However, en route to their hiding spot, the Nazis apprehend Daniel and forcibly place him on a train destined for Auschwitz. Auschwitz unfolds as a nightmarish ordeal, chaotic, rife with violence, and relentlessly deadly. Prisoners spared the gas chambers toil endlessly without adequate clothing or sustenance. Amidst this bleakness, Daniel chances upon his family and reunites with his father, who had believed that Ruth and Erica had perished in the gas chambers. To Daniel's astonishment, he witnesses Erica, emaciated and resembling a lifeless skeleton, playing her violin in the concentration camp band. Upon spotting her father and older brother alive, a flicker of her spirit returns, although she is subsequently transported to another camp and tragically succumbs after its liberation by the Russians. Daniel becomes involved in the resistance through Adam, a fellow Lodz ghetto resident. Adam secures a camera for Daniel, who meticulously documents the chilling scenes of fiery pits filled with corpses and storehouses teeming with the inmates' shorn hair and confiscated valuables. The purpose of these photographs is to prompt the Allies to bomb the camp, although this plea goes unanswered. Instead, the resistance opts to sabotage one of the crematoriums. Fearing capture and torture, Adam resorts to stealing a gun from a Nazi and meets his demise in a shootout. As the Allied forces continue their advance, the Nazis force the prisoners on a grueling march out of Auschwitz, infamously known as the Death March. Many prisoners perish along the way. Eventually, Daniel and his father arrive at Buchenwald, another concentration camp located in Germany. Daniel assumes the role of an assistant to a photographer whose task is to capture images of families affiliated with the Schutzstaffel, SS, the elite Nazi security force. In parallel, Daniel and his father become active members of the resistance. As the war nears its conclusion, the resistance orchestrates a daring revolt. During the chaos, Joseph sustains a gunshot wound to the arm, fortunately not life-threatening, while Daniel engages in a firefight with Nazis, narrowly avoiding causing fatalities. Prior to the arrival of American soldiers, the prisoners successfully seize control of the camp, offering the liberators chocolate and cigarettes in jubilation. With their newfound freedom, Daniel, his father, and Peter, a fellow Lodz resident, embark on a train journey back to Lodz. During a stop along the way, they disembark to explore their surroundings, only to encounter a group of anti-Semitic Polish farm boys who launch an attack against Daniel and Peter. Drawing his weapon, Daniel regains control of the situation, but tragically, Peter loses his life. In his final moments, Peter receives Daniel's promise that he will fulfill their shared dream of reaching Palestine. Upon reuniting with Rosa outside his former residence in Lodz, Daniel and Rosa openly declare their love for each other and make plans to start a new life together in Palestine. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.